Hi friends, today I am here to talk about few concepts from chapter Quadratic Equations from Algebra. Now as we all know, there are three methods of solving any quadratic equation. First is factorization, second is completing square method, and third is formula method. In this video, I am going to talk to you all about factorization method. Now this method is very easy. Usually the sums of 2 marks and 3 marks comes for this method. Let's start with the method. Now in factorization method, there are few steps which you have to keep it in your mind. The first, check that the equation has to be in a general form. Means it has to be in a form of ax square plus bx plus c is equals to 0. If the equation is not in a general form, you have to get it in a general form. Second, multiplying a with c and find all the pair of factors of a and c. That means a is a quotient of x squared term, c is our constant. We multiply a and c, the product ac whatever we get, we have to find the factors of that term. Then third step is to check the sign of a constant. Now here our constant is c, so we have to see whether before c plus sign is there or minus sign is there. If there is a plus sign before c or if c is positive, then by adding the pair of factors we should get the middle term. And if minus sign is there before c or if c is negative, then by subtracting the pair of factors we should get the middle terms. And the fourth step is we have to substitute the pair of factors along with a variable in a bracket instead of middle term. So all those students who find this method difficult, I would advise you take the screenshot of this and just read it 10 times. I think then it will be perfect for you to understand this method. Now I'll teach you one sum where the steps will be coming adjacently and next two sums will be doing without the step. So let's start. I have taken the sum from practice at 2.2 question 1 sub question 4. Now always have the habit of writing the given equation. The way it is given we should write it. Check, is the equation in a general form? No. The first rule says equation has to be in a general form, and the general form is what? Am square plus bm plus c is equals to 0. I have taken the variable m in a general form because in question also the m variable is used. Now since it is not in a general form, we'll get it in a general form. That means I'll shift 22m on left hand side, so it will become minus 22m. I'll shift 15 on left hand side, it becomes minus 15 is equals to 0. So our first step is over. Now the middle term is 22m. We have to split this 22m in two parts. But how? By multiplying the a with c. Now here our a value is 5 and c is 15. So what I will do, I'll multiply 15 with 5 and I get the product as 75. The third step, I am going to check the sign before the constant term. The sign here is what? It is minus. So in other words, if c is negative, we have to subtract the pair of factors to get the middle term. Now let us start preparing the list of all pair of factors. Now 75, we get by 75 into 1. But 75 minus 1 will not give us 22. So this factor will not help us. Let's try the next pair of factors. It is 25 into 3. Now 25 minus 3 gives us 22. And our middle term is also 22. So now, since 25 minus 3 gives us 22, this pair of factors will help us to split the middle term. Now we'll introduce the variable. So instead of 22m, what I will do, I will write there as 25m minus 3m. So in a bracket, I'll write 25m minus 3m. So I have splitted the 22m as 25m minus 3m. Now outside the bracket, there is a minus sign. So we'll open the bracket. Now when you open the bracket and if the sign is negative before the bracket, remember the sign gets changed. So minus into plus 25m will become minus 25m and minus into minus 3m will become plus 3m minus 15. Now we have got the four terms. So we'll make a group of two terms. In the first two terms, if you observe carefully, you can take 5m common. Now when you take 5m common, in bracket you will get m minus 5 in the next two terms. Now third term is plus, so we'll take plus sign common. If the third term would have been minus, we would have taken minus sign common. Now since in this sum third term is plus, I have taken plus sign common. Now 3m minus 15, in that I can take 3 common. So in bracket I'll get m minus 5, and that is equals to 0. Now we have got two terms. In both the terms, if you observe carefully, m minus 5 is common. So I'll write first m minus 5, and then I will write uncommon factors, that is 5m plus 3 is equals to 0. Now I have got two brackets, and the product of two brackets is equals to 0. That means either m minus 5 has to be equals to 0 or 5m plus 3 is equals to 0. Now if we solve this further, we get m is equals to 5 or m is equals to minus 3 upon 5. So we got two roots, 5 and minus 3 upon 5. These two are the roots of the given quadratic equation. Always have the habit of writing the answer in statement form. One thing, please make a note. Since the degree of any quadratic equation is 2, you will always get two roots. Sometimes both the roots are equal, but since it is a quadratic equation, you will always get two roots. Now let's have a look at one more example, but this time I am not going to show you all steps adjacently. Now I have taken the same exercise 2.2, question 1, sub question 3. Now first check, is the equation in a general form? Yes. So our first step is over. Now our middle term here is 27y. So we know that whenever we have to split the middle term, what do? We multiply a with c. Now a is a quotient of square term, so here it is 2y and c is 13. Now as per the second rule, what we will do? We'll multiply 2 with 13. What do we get? We get 26. Now we have to split the 26 in two factors such a way that its sum should give us 27y. Why sum? Because before 13 we have plus sign. That is as per our step number 3. Now since it is positive, we are going to add the factors. Now first pair of factor is 26 ones are. When we add these two, do we get 27? Yes. So we don't need to proceed further with the factors. Now 26 plus 1 gives us 27. So we'll introduce a variable. The variable used in a question is y. So we can write 26y plus y is equals to 27y. Now in the next step, instead of 27y, I can write this as 26y plus y, but in a bracket. Now we'll open the bracket, so it becomes 2y square plus 26y plus y plus 13 is equals to 0. Now since outside the bracket we had a plus sign, so no sign has changed of any terms in a bracket. Remember that. Now in the first two terms, here you can take 2y common. Now when you take 2y common, you get y plus 13. Now your third term is plus, so we have to take plus sign common. Y plus 13 में क्या common आएगा? कुछ भी नहीं. So we'll just take 1 common. Now when you take 1 common, in bracket you will get y plus 13 is equals to 0. Now in this both the terms, what is common? Y plus 13 is common. So next step, I can write this as y plus 13 into 2y plus 1 is equals to 0. Now I have got the product of two terms is equals to 0. That means y plus 13 has to be equals to 0 or 2y plus 1 is equals to 0. Therefore, y is equals to minus 13 or y is equals to minus 1 upon 2. So minus 13 and minus 1 upon 2 are the roots of given quadratic equation. Always have the habit of writing the answer in statement form. Let's have a look at one more example from the same exercise. Question 1, sub question 1. Now write the equation as it is given in a question. First step, check the equation. Is it in a general form? Yes. So we don't need to do anything for the first step. Now next, our middle term is minus 15x. So for the second step, we multiply a with c. Now here our x square is there and the c is 54. So we need to multiply 54 with a. But यहाँ a दिख नहीं रहा है. I have been always telling you all, जिसका कोई नहीं होता उसका कौन होता है? 1. So when I say only x square, it is actually 1 into x square. So in this sum, our A is 1 and C is 54. So I will multiply 1 with 54, which will give me 54. Now I have to list the factors of 54 such that its sum should give me 15. Why sum? Because before 54 we have plus sign. Now let's start listing the pair of factors. 54 ones will not give us 15. So that will not work. Then 27 twos are, when you add these two, this will not give us 15. Then 18 threes are, when you add, you will not get 15. The next pair of factors is 9 and 6. When you add, what do you get? You get it as 15. Now 9 plus 6 gives us 15. So here, this is the splitting of the middle term for the 15. Now what we'll do, we'll discard the other factors and we'll just concentrate on 9 and 6. Now since 9 plus 6 gives us 15, I will introduce the variable x. So it will become 9x plus 6x is equals to 50. Now in the next step, instead of 15x, I am going to write 9x plus 6x. But remember, we will write it in a bracket. And outside the bracket, you will have the minus sign. Now, outside the bracket, we have minus sign. So let us open the bracket. So here, minus into plus 9x will give us minus 9x. Minus into plus 6x will give us minus 6x plus 54 is equals to 0. Now, what we can take common in the first two terms? If you observe carefully, you can take x common. So in a bracket, you will get x minus 9. Now here, third term is negative. Whenever the third term is negative, we have to take minus sign common. That is the first rule. 6x plus 54. In this, you can take 6 common. Now, when you take 6 common, in bracket, you will get x. And plus 54 is there. So when you take minus 6 common, it will become minus 9 is equals to 0. If you try to recollect, I have been telling you all, whenever you take minus sign common, the last term sign gets changed. Minus becomes plus, plus will become minus. In this plus 54, when we take minus sign common, it will become minus 9. So plus has become minus. Now in these two terms, what can you take common? You can take x minus 9 common. And in bracket, you will get x minus 6 is equals to 0. So the product of two terms is equals to 0. Therefore, x minus 9 is equals to 0 or x minus 6 is equals to 0. Therefore, x is equals to 9 or x is equals to 6. Again, we got the two roots. So the answer will be what? 9 and 6 are the roots of the given quadratic equation. I hope you all must have understood this method very clearly. If you have found it helpful, please share it with your friends.